So in this tutorial, we're going to create a dice rolling simulator with Python here, and where you could just like enter the numbers of dice you want to roll, either 1 or 2. So if I enter 2 here now, it just roll the die for me, pick it randomly, and now it's giving me the sum 3 and 5, giving me the 2 again as 8. So when it's asking me if I want to roll this die again, so if I should pick yes again, you can see it's clear the screen, right? So that the screen will not be like too crowded with code and with output. And now I could just decide to roll one die, and now it's giving me the value is 3. Rolling die is giving me 3. And now if I want to roll again, I could just type in yes or y. And now if I should enter any number that is not 1 or 2, it's going to say invalid input, and I can just enter letter also, and it will quite alright. Yes again, and I can enter 2 also. It will quite alright. So this is what I'm going to be creating with Python today. And now I could just enter in N or any other character, and it's quit this game. So come along with me, let's code this with Python. So before we start coding, let's break down what we want the program to do. So now, the first thing we want the program to do is to ask the user if they want to roll a single die or 2 dice. And now, the second thing we want to do after asking the user, we want to simulate rolling those dice now using random numbers between 1 and 6. Then we want to display the result of the rolls for the user to see. They want to allow the user to roll again if they still want to continue rolling. So let's start coding now. So the next thing we're going to do now is to import the necessary modules, and we're going to be importing random here. I'm also going to import another module called OS. Random will be to generate random numbers between 1 and 6, and the OS will be for us to clear our terminal so that we can have good user experience, so it will not be like bulky with different operations there. So now we want to have the function that will collect the input of the dice there. So we have def num die. So just call this num die here, and okay. So y true. So we always want to run this. So we have y true here. Then we want to put this in a try block error, so we can be able to handle any error that is coming from the user instead of the program just ending. So what we want to do is now is input number of dice. So we want to input the numbers of dice, we want to collect the numbers of dice from the user, and now we want to have another variable called valid response. And this valid response, we have a list of the response we are expecting that the user will enter. So we have 1 in both number and word, then we have 2 also in both number and word. And that's how we want the user to just respond. We are expecting one of these response from the user. So now we want to check if num die now. We want to check if num die. Okay, okay. We want to check, okay, let me just call these num dies instead. If num die is now in this valid response. Okay. Let's check it if not in valid response. If it's not there, that means it's not valid, right? If not in valid response, what we want to do, we want to raise an error here. And what do we want to call that error? We want to raise an error of value error. They want to tell the user 1 or 2 only. We want the user to only enter 1 or 2 only. Otherwise, we want to just return the dice number, the num dice itself. So that way we're able to like get the input from the user, and this value here except, and what is this? Okay, except doing. And one thing that you can notice here is that we don't have uppercase letter here, so to avoid that we can just convert this to lower instead. So let's convert this to lower instead. Okay, so I want to have except value error as this. Then we want to print out the error itself for the user, and they want to say invalid input. They want to have this error. They want to tell the user, please enter either 1 or 2. So this is what we want the user to do once we raise this error. So this while loop will repeatedly asks for the input until the user enter a valid response. And when it is invalid, we raise this valid error here, and the user is prompted to enter 1 or 2 again. And now we're using this, as I said earlier, we use this try block except else so that no instances that the game will end, only if the user wants to end the game. So I could just like, okay, run this num_die now, num_dies function, okay, num_die function, and let's see. So run this num_dies function and let's see. If I should put 3 now, you can see invalid input, 1 or 2 only. Please enter either 1 or 2. This 1 or 2 only is coming from this place where we raise this line 12, where we raise this error 1 or 2 only. Please enter either 1 or 2. You can see if I enter 2 now, it's returning the number, but I didn't print it out on the terminal. So let me just go ahead and print out this now so that you can get back the input out. So if I should run this again, you can see, okay, 3 now, 1 or 2, 1 now, yes, giving us back 1 on the terminal. And if I should put in 2 also, this work quite alright. So that's that for that now. So now I want to go to a function that will clear the screen after we run this. So I'm just going to clean this now, and we are going to have this function called clear screen. And what is this function going to be doing? We don't want, since we are going to continue asking the user repeatedly, we don't just want this to be like this. We want to be able to like clear the screen and have, so that we can know what we are doing, so the user can know what the user is doing, instead of making things just look cloudy. We want to make it look nice and neat. So now that's why we're going to use this OS module that we imported from this line 4 here, right here, and that's where we're going to use it. So what we want to do now is os.system. So we have os.system now, and we are using this CLS now. If os.name is equals to nt, then else clear. So what are we doing here? What we're doing here now is checking if the name of the OS is equals to nt. We are using os.clear, right? The CLS, else is clear. So I think this is just checking if the OS is Windows or Mac, so that we can know the right one to use to clear the terminal there. So now we are just like putting this condition to know the OS we are using, so we can know the right one to put in there, because one of the operating systems supports CLS and the other supports clear. So that's why we are using this now. So that's that for that. And now we want to have another function here, and this other function we call row die, and this is the function that will actually simulate our die itself. So we want to have 2 variables here first. So local variables here, we call min_var and we have max_var. That's the minimum number we can have for the rolling of die and the maximum number we want to have for the rolling of die. So we want to automatically set another variable called roll again, and this is just to determine if we want to keep playing the game to y. So that's for y for yes now. So what we're going to do now is y roll again now dot lower. Always make sure we convert this to lowercase so that we can accept any input from the user, equals to yes now. Or so we just go ahead and copy this and use it again right here, or roll again dot lower equals to y. So we want to check these 2 conditions now, and what we want to do here is now, okay, after we check these 2 conditions, we want to just clear the screen. So we call this function that is clearing the screen right here, we call that function clear the screen. Then we want to have the amount, that's the numbers of die we are using, we call it amount, and we call this function called num_die, which is returning the amount of die we want to roll, right? So we call this, that function now is going to prompt the user for the amount of die you want to roll, 1 or 2, then we store it as amount, and that's because right here we are returning num_die. So it's going to keep running until we return this num_die itself. So that's that for that. And now the next thing we want to do here is we want to print out. Okay, next we want to do here is print out this. I want to say rolling the dice. Okay, so I want to print out rolling the dice. I want to have these 2 dice. There is 1 now, and this is where we're going to use a random module we imported previously. So we're going to use this randint, and what this randint does is that it pick a random integer. That's why you see the randint there, random integer between two numbers. So you can specify 1 or 2 here, but for good practice we just have min var instead. So we have the minimum value here and we have the maximum value also. So it's picking between this any random digit between this minimum value, which is 1, and the random value, which is 6. So that's how this random is doing it. So I'll just go ahead and copy this and paste it for our dice 2. So okay, before we do this, the first thing we want to do is we want to check if the amount itself is equals to 2 or the amount is equals to 2. So is any of this condition that is going to make us use a two dice instead of 1. So I'll just go ahead and put this in the right indentation. So the next thing I want to do now is print out this. The values are, they want to print out dice 1. Okay, they want to print out the value of dice 1 here. So just go ahead and copy this now. Okay, now I want to print out dice 2 now, and the value of dice 2 is, okay, we have that. All right. Oh, I didn't change this to dice 2, so this should be dice 2 instead. So the value of dice 2 now, they want to print out total also. We want to have the total. Let's say the user wants the total value of these two dice itself, so we're going to have total also, and we are just going to print out dice 1 plus dice 2. So that's all for using that, and next we are going to ask the user for roll again. And what you just want the user to do here is to input roll again. So you just want to ask roll again. I want to ask user. So any value the user entered that is different from yes or y, the program is going to stop. So we are expecting yes or y from the program. Let's just put this to make this clear. Do you roll again? And let's just put, okay, enter. Okay, let me put this in double quotation. So I'll be able to use a single quotation right there. So I want to say enter yes or y to roll. Okay, I think this is alright. So we are rolling again now, and otherwise if this amount is not 2, that means it is 1 instead. So we cannot have any other thing like is either 1 or 2, because we are handling any other thing that is different from the try block error here. It's trying the except block here. So next thing we want to have here now is rolling the die again, just like we have it here. So we just want to have one die here. So we just say dice 1, and then okay. Thought I still had it copied it here. So random dot random. So we have minimum value and we have maximum value. So the next thing now is just us printing out the value of the dice itself. So just print out the value is dice 1. So then what do you want to do again? We want to ask for the user if the user wants to roll again. So we want to keep on asking if the user want to roll this game again. And we can see here also we are using while loop also, and this is just to make sure that it keep prompting the user if the user still want to roll this game again. So finally, to run this game, I'll just add this here, if name equals to main. So we just want to roll the dice itself. Okay, let's run this. So now you can see that the timeline is cleared and it is alright and cleaned. So now you can see roll the dice again. So I enter 2 here. You can see it rolled the 2 dice and we get 3 for the first one, 4 for the second one, and in total now it's 7, right? Rolling dice, the values are dice 1, dice 2, and total is 7. So I want to roll this again now, enter Y, and we can see the screen is cleared also. That's because we use this clear screen function here to clear the screen, so that we not just have that other one disturbing our code itself. So I could enter 1 here now, and we can see now we just roll this game once. I can enter yes here, then I'm rolling this again. 3, no, it won't accept that, but 2, quite alright. And now I'm having a total of 11. That's when it show 6 and 5. When it shows 6 and 5. So I could just end this game by just putting in N, and we can see now the program has ended. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the dice rolling generator with Python. I hope it was helpful and you could see how to use function where and learn something new, and maybe learn how to use the random module here, the OS module, use some function, use the while loop, the try, the conditional statement, whatever. I hope it was helpful to you. So if you want to see more tutorial like this, if you like this video, I'm sure you'll like my tic-tac-toe game with Python. So click on the video you're seeing on your screen now to check out the tic-tac-toe game with Python. So don't forget to like this video and smash the subscribe button. See you next time.